everyone, I'm Alexis the Ego Queen. Love me. I know you do. Anyway, Remleiz?
Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40K Theories.
Hello everyone, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis.
And this is Adeptus Podcastus, and it's on my channel now.
Yay.
I captured it for chaos.
You won't have it for long, heretic.
You don't
The
even understand.
Inquisition's having it next time.
I thought it was the Mechanicus. Who have we given it to?
No. Order Theoreticus.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
Oh, man. So, right off the bat, we have to talk about the new Betrayal of Caltha, the Burning of Prospero set.
Yes, that has been announced on the day of recording, which is the 14th, 15th of October?
14th.
14th, thank you. And it will be coming out about 4 days after the podcast on the 22nd. So we're still in before spoilers, so we haven't seen everything, so we're going to get things wrong.
Of course we're going to get things wrong. I always get things wrong.
I saw through these miniatures, and part of me was thinking, who the fuck is Gregor Fell-handed?
Bjorn?
There's not Bjorn, because Bjorn's called Bjorn. This guy's called Gregor.
I was really confused who the fuck he was, too.
Is he in the lore anywhere?
I can't find him. I tried to look for him earlier today, and I could not find anything on him.
I would have done, but I've been in lectures and labs and stuff since like 10, so I haven't really had a chance.
I'm thinking maybe they're releasing a new book along with it that explains him.
Oh yeah, because there's that upcoming 13th Wolf that's coming out. So he might be in that.
But still,
maybe.
They just kind of stuck a new character in there. I was a little weirded out by that. I'm like, why?
They stuck 2 new factions in there for the standards of the Horus Heresy game. There's 2 whole new factions gone in there. Never mind new characters.
Yeah, I can deal without the Space Wolves. Like, they couldn't even... If they weren't in that box, I'd be happy with the box.
Can we just talk about quickly how we've actually got Custodes? So how many people are going to be out there converting them into the Pillostodes from TTS?
Yes.
Except one. One must stay as kitten.
One must stay as kitten.
30 seconds in and we're talking about kitten.
I thought we lasted a little longer than that, but yeah. I do wonder like what kit you'd actually use though, for that.
You'd probably have to use a couple of fantasy kits. Maybe Conan, the RP game, for the naked dudes. What are they called? I can't remember their names right now.
The Pillostodes.
Yes, for them, and then Kitten. I don't know. You'd probably have to convert
Well, Kitten's in standard custodian armor. He's still standard custodian, but it's the general nudity and then the helmets. I would wager, if I were to guess, that Khorne Bloodbound without the Khorne sigils or Chaos Marauders without the Chaos sigils would work, but there's no like bare-chested Imperial stuff.
Well, just get some of the old Norse Blood Bowl models because they're just pretty much just wearing loincloths. Just get them and just take off the football helmets. You're done.
But, yeah, that would work actually. Good call.
And they've got the eccentric poses as well, so that works double.
The Sisters of Silence, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Like that makes me want the set. Like right off the bat, the Sisters.
The set's 95 English, right?
I think
Assuming
so.
If Betrayal of Caltha is anything to go by, yeah.
I think the poster actually gave a cost. I sure did. Excuse me, I've just picked up hiccups for no reason.
So in America, it's probably going to be about $150.
Yeah, 140, 150.
Which is standard price. That's pretty good.
Indeed.
I wonder what kind of stupid game it's going to come with that no one gives a shit about.
I don't know, but it does say that it's going to be introducing the Custodes, the Sisters, and stuff into 30 and 40k.
Yep.
Seeing it's going to have rules for both.
Custodes and 40k. Why would you even have them unless you're actually doing the Imperial Palace? Because they don't go off world now in 40k.
Well, looking at the image you sent us and that you shared on your Facebook page today says, and I quote, these 30k, 40k Space Marines, sorry, moron. No, Custodian Guard and Sisters of Silence, brand new miniatures in plastic for the very first time. Full rules for using them in games of the Horus Heresy and Warhammer 40,000 available on pre-order.
What?
Okay, so hear me out on this. What if they were on just the Grey Knight's planet? Because the Grey Knight's planet is like the biggest, well, the moon is like the biggest plot hole in the entire, like, 40K lore.
I thought Caldor Drago was the biggest plot hole in 40K lore.
That's not fucking canon. To quote Kitten.
Yet.
Oh, God, can we just get rid of him?
To be fair, he's in my comments now. He's in my bloody comments.
Wait, Drago?
Yeah, I've got Caldor Drago in my comments.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Is he quoting about hive ship sex?
No, actually, that's somebody else. And he blames you every time he does it.
Yes. I love it.
Ah, dear.
Speaking of Thousand Suns, we've also got the upcoming Plastic Magnus.
Yes!
Whatever about it.
Shut up, I'm having a fanboy moment.
He doesn't look good.
Apart from the face mask, he does. I could switch the head, but I like his pose. I like the model.
I would switch his head just a little bit. The wings, I would heat treat and bend them to give him more of like a flapping look. And then I would say he looked good.
But he hasn't got his beard like in his old Epic model.
Yeah, but Epic.
Epic was awesome.
Also, the name drop
Epic
about
was...
the Sisters of Battle.
Oh,
yes.
God. Either the biggest troll or the best news we've ever had.
Okay, hear me out on this. I don't think it's a troll. I think GW is actually like releasing information about this. I have a theory that GW is actually the ones that release all of the pre-release stuff and then complain about it. It's too obvious.
It does seem like every time something gets spoiled, whether it's Magnus or it's Khan or it's Somethingajig, there seems to be an immediate video about it.
Yeah,
like,
so
immediately.
But anyway, I've noticed this with I work at a game store, a manager, whatever. So
yeah.
I actually have to make orders. We have this one customer who keeps coming in and asking when the Plastic Sisters are out. So I keep asking our distributor. One day, I asked him what happened to the emulator, because it's not on the website anymore, along with half their sisters. They're there, like the display is there, but you can't order them. Okay?
Right.
All of the warehouses in like the 3 local places to me, no Sisters of Battle. We can't order them.
But funnily enough, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. There's this whole made-to-order business. I'll come back to it in a minute. You finish your story and I'll come back to it.
All right.
It's about this.
So I asked him about the emulator. And he was like, oh, yeah, we're, and I quote, we're re-releasing a plastic, and then the call just ended. Like, flat
Spoiler
out,
alert.
just ended. So he basically told me, hey, we do have the plastic emulator, we're waiting. And honestly, I think they're going to wait until the excitement of the Gene Stealer cult dies out a little bit, and people realize that it's actually a mid-tier army and not as good as I originally thought it was.
Oh, yeah, my Tyranid friend is calling it OP at the moment, or potentially OP.
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to rant about this for just a second. I was looking through it. Hang on, let me grab it really quickly. Don't take that out of context.
You take everything I say out of context. Why would we not take everything you say out of context?
Because I'm a deviant servant of Slaanesh. I'm allowed to.
Right.
Love you guys. The Subterranean Uprising is the most OP thing in this entire codex and the only thing worth taking. Okay? So hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
My Cult Insurrection Detachment, after I read the book, wrote 12.5 lists and really playtested the army multiple times, off recording, of course, because I playtest with this one guy who hates being recorded and he's a real douche about it. Anyway, it broke down to I take the first curse, which is the Patriarch, and 1 unit of Pure Strain Gene Stealers, 20 of them.
Yep.
And Subterranean Uprising, and that's it. And since it's and 1 core of basically 1 Leman Russ, 1 Sentinel, and a couple of Neophytes. And I just don't give a shit about them. Like, honestly, they're not they're just tax. Like, when you can say a Lehman Russ is tax, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the Subterranean Uprising, you have one with the Primus and the rest without, okay? Or you do, here's my my Cult Insurrection detachment, and then you add on detachments to it because, you know, the Alliance system in 40K is the most stupid thing that they have ever released for it. But essentially, you bring the Primus and 3 units of... 1 unit of Metamorphs, no upgrades, you don't even give a shit about them. 2 units of 10 hybrids. You weaponize them, and you have 3 chances of them assaulting on the turn that they come in.
Oh, so you have 3 rolls on that table?
Yes. And that formation, if you don't upgrade it, which is what I'm doing, I'm not going to upgrade it at all, that formation costs you a grand total of 75 for the dude guy. And if I could turn pages faster, that would be great. Acolytes of 40 points apiece. 40 points for a brood of 5.
Okay, so that's 2 lots of those?
Yeah, it's 80 plus 75, and then you just...
155.
You keep bringing that up until 1850.
155. You bring that after paying the tax, which is probably going to be about 300 points, and then paying for the Broodlord and things, which is probably another 200 plus points.
It's 280.
You're probably going to... It's 280 for that. Okay, so that's about 600 points in tax. Gives you 1250 to work with. It's about 7 times.
Yeah.
It's nearly 8, but you can't quite fit 8. Oh,
so,
no, you could fit 8. 8 will do.
I play tested it using my Orc boys because, well, I don't have the models yet.
Mm-hmm.
I tabled Tau Gunline turn 1.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was the first time I just tabled them. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Rending plus all of the attacks plus swinging first. It was unstoppable.
Yeah, and I was talking to my friend who's Kieran, who's got Gene Stealer, getting cults, and he just told me about that table, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, right, so on a 6, you can settle 3 inches away and charge. I don't care how much supporting fire I've got, which in my case is basically none. 1, I'm pinned in a corner, and 2, I'm getting charged to pieces, and if not, I'm getting shot to pieces.
Yeah, and all it takes is one guy in terrain to give them 4 up to avoid the Overwatch. Yeah, you put them in terrain, like, and then you assault from the terrain. Yeah, you dock 2 from it, but whatever. And you are now safe from the Overwatch. 50-50 safe from the Overwatch.
Yeah, and the only way I can counter that, literally, is marker lights, smart missile systems, and flamers. And I can tell you something for nothing, nobody runs flamers, and your marker lights will never be in a position where they're going to get charged because you'd camp around them. And smart missile systems, you basically take them on tanks who can't overwatch, and broadsides, and you don't have enough of those to go around because you can't put them on anything else. So, yeah, 3 chances to get 6, and you're all dead. Have a nice day.
On 5 different squads.
Yeah, so that doubly ruins supporting fire because you've got assaults in 5 different places.
Plus, the infiltrating Gene Stealers can also get it. And the Broodlord can summon more guys to do it.
Well, looks like I keep my near 100% lose rate then. Woohoo.
Don't worry, it's Gene Stealer Cult. It's not Tyranids.
Same blooming difference as far as I'm concerned.
But
like, seriously, like if I'm going to play a face rush army, a battlesuit army, that's like the only thing that kills that is, oh wait, yeah, you've got rending out the ass. Thanks, great. All my guys have like cost 40 points, 50 points a model, dead.
Here's what you do: you reserve everything. Let the Tyranid player go first.
Yeah, but then the things that you do have to put on board so you don't automatically lose turn 1 get killed on turn 1.
Put them on top of a building.
Debatably, I suppose.
Yeah, or corner of the map
that they can infiltrate 3 inches from.
Yep. You have to strategically hide that one guy. It's like when I play Tyranid Null Deployment. I put a Lictor inside a bunker. And I'm like...
Well, I've got this idea of like running a null deployment. I talked about it in my most recent hobby update. of just literally putting a stealth team on board and then dropping in a retaliation card and a rapid insertion force, which is like
It works very,
6 price.
very well.
It will not work against cults because
No.
because literally, unless my stealth team is literally stood on top of a building, and of which not everybody has buildings or buildings that you can actually not climb on. Oh, right, yeah, I can't physically hide. I'm dead and I lose. Yeah, that was a fun game.
But the reason I say the mid-tier, it's a risk. If you don't get it, you lose.
But you have 3 chances.
Yes.
And the odds, so the odds of doing it is
1 in 3.
the odds of. Is that what it actually drops down to? 125 over 216 is 1 in 3.
Here's the problem with it. When you re-roll on the table, if you roll the same result, you don't roll again to pick a different result. You keep the same result twice. So if you roll like 3 1s, you keep the 3 1s. So yeah.
Right.
Also,
Okay,
Remleiz is here.
Hello.
Sorry, gameplay things go straight over Remleiz's head. I forgot this.
Well, it's not my fault. I can't afford to get the bloody game now.
Don't worry. I got you.
Your time will come.
My time will come. Because
Gross.
I'm determined to get a copy of that Scouring of Prospero set no matter what.
Oh,
I don't.
no. Continue.
I don't think there was anything to continue.
Oh,
Well, one thing I was going to say. Going back to the whole thing about the Plastic Sisters.
Yeah.
I'm slightly skeptical because I think what Games Workshop are doing are basically testing the waters and they're just saying that initially as a joke and seeing, right, how many people are going to get excited, and if enough people get excited, then we'll do it.
The
It's what
problem
partly
is,
thinking, but at the same time, with how Games Workshop's been these last few months, I mean, they did Gene Stealer Cult, which haven't had an army list since, what, second edition?
Yep.
ever as far as I knew.
Yeah, second edition, I think, was the last time they had an actual proper army list.
and
So
that
they've
was the
done that.
same edition as Sisters. Like, Sisters is still a second edition army. Like, they're model-wise.
Model-wise, yes. Codex-wise, no. They had
No,
a 6th
they're-
edition codex.
Yeah, they're up to a 6th edition codex, which is god-awful, and we'll never talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt Ward and Robin Credis.
You fucking assholes. Anyway,
Anyway, you were saying.
Yes. But if they do release these new Plastic Sisters soon, I want to see some Sororitas equivalent of a Terminator, some heavy armor.
I want some Sororitas in, like, what do they call it? Centurion armor.
Centuri Sisters.
Yeah. Like, call them something different, but put them in Centurion armor.
Thing is that you could almost treat the penitent engines like that if you wanted to. They're basically strapped into war suits.
I've
in a
always
way.
wondered
Yes,
how the penitent engine actually functions. Does the person strapped to the front of it actually control it?
It's plugged into their brain directly. Essentially.
Okay, that
Right,
makes
your
less
interface,
sense, but
that's
sure.
Perhaps.
Because they're going to be in extreme pain the second they get shot, which means that penitent engine...
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. It's basically like if you've done and committed a sin, right, you have a choice about being in a penitent engine or becoming a Sister Repentia, swinging around a massive chainsaw while butt naked.
I don't mind that choice.
You probably will if you're getting shot.
Nah, I'm good. I have
perhaps.
people around me to take the shots. Also, I feel no pain for some reason.
Well, 6 was invulnerable.
Yeah,
Oh no, Repentia. Did Repentia feel no pain?
they do have feel no pain.
Oh, so they do.
It's because they're religious lunatics.
Well, so is the entire army.
Touche.
Not to their degree, though.
No, not to their degree, but still.
Perhaps not.
They'll get on well with the Black Templars.
No, but I do want to see some sisters with storm shields, some sisters with thunder hammers.
The thing is, there's the retinue thingy-McJibs that have the Crusaders with storm shields, so they're kind of half covering their ass with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
But we shall have to find out, and knowing our bloody luck, it will probably just be the greatest chore in the universe because GW.
But again, with how they've been in these last few months, with releasing Gene Stealer Cult, releasing all these new board games, all these starter sets,
And all the
that.
video games, holy shit. Like, seriously.
Well, with the video games, it's kind of a mixed blessing. Some of them are good, some are just god awful. I mean, we all remember, Carnage Champions, don't we?
Let's not talk about that.
Actually, I tell you what. Vermintide, the End Times game, that's coming out on PS4, I believe. And one of the guys in my local GW yesterday was actually trying to make a tabletop version of it, and like trying to balance up a tabletop version of End Times Vermintide.
Oh, sweet. How'd that turn out?
I don't know, because he was literally just working out how to nerf his plague monks to make them fair at the time.
I remember one time, this was years ago, I went to Games Day in the Golden Demon Wars in 1996.
That was the year I was flipping born.
Yes.
Aw, you're a baby too.
I'm 20 years old, Alexis.
Oh, you're so cute. Anyway,
And
I'm 25, so...
Anyway.
And someone actually did a Warhammer version of Space Hulk, but it was set in like a Lizard Man Temple City, and it was fucking awesome.
Oh, that's really cool. Actually, the best Golden Demon I ever saw was, like someone, I think I remember, took apart a Stomper and built the interior of a Stomper.
I've actually seen pictures of that.
Yeah, I saw it in White Dwarf. You know the Stomper poster that they gave out when it came out? Basically that, in model form.
This was also the Games Day I went to, was also the one that had the massive display, the Battle of Big Tooth River. If any of you have seen that.
Nope.
I'm assuming that's a parody on something that I should know from ancient American history.
It's literally like about a good 2,000 orcs against like 100 Imperial Guardsmen. They were oh god, what are they called? The ones that had the pith helmet, like old British soldiers. Those Praetorians.
The Firstborn?
No. They actually had the archaeological pith helmets. Basically, if you ever seen the film Zulu, they look like those soldiers. They were literally only released as a limited edition army box set back in 1996, 97.
I think I saw things that were converted to look like those, but I don't know what their official name is.
I think they were called Praetorian Guard or something like that.
I forget.
I will check.
But it's awesome because they also had this big display showing you how the miniatures are made and stuff like that. And you go through, and once you complete the tour, you get given a free sprue with models on it. And the models were for the upcoming Gorkamorka. So basically, it was like a sprue of 4 orc boys.
Okay. And
I went there. Basically, it was like an early birthday present for my family, and all my family went there. So I got 4 sprues with 4 orc boys in them for Gorkamorka. I was like, sweet, got it for free.
Winning.
I wish I had some luck like that.
Gorkamorka was fucking awesome. Why can't we have that come back yet?
Give it time. Give them chance. Actually, I'm going to go into the news piece that I was going to talk about while Alexis was talking about her stuff. Stuff is going back on sale, made to order, like Macarius and Kassakin.
Yes, the made to order thing. Basically, they're releasing the entire miniatures back catalogue as made to order.
So yes, if any of you ever wanted Lord Solar Macarius, who looks like shit, or some of the Kassakin, who didn't, then you are absolutely welcome to go and give that a bash whenever that goes live.
Or if you want some derpy-looking Rogue Trader era models.
Oh, they're doing Rogue Trader as well?
They said they're doing the entire back catalogue, so I would assume it would have Rogue Trader as well. Because don't forget, they're still selling some of the old Rogue Trader models still anyway, things like the Goth Rockers and the history of the Space Marine Power Man, the Thunder Warrior and that as well.
Yes, Goth Rockers. Goth Rockers is the best thing.
Morty and Iron Guard is what they're called.
No, it's not the Mordian Iron Guard. They're the ones that had the peak cap, not the pith helmet.
Yeah, Mordians are blue. I know that.
Oh shit! Which ones are they?
Look up Battle of Big Tooth River, Tooth spelled Toof, and they literally got red uniforms with white helmets.
I can literally see them, and I swear I saw the Perry twins had done it.
Yeah, it was the Perry twins. Yeah.
Well, they did an article on the Perry twins on that 30 years of service, and they showed them.
Oh my god, this is old.
Well, yes, it was 20 years ago, Alexis.
And the Lehman Russ hasn't changed.
To be fair.
Wait, the Desert Raiders?
That's Talon.
Not the Talon, and they're not red.
No, Talon are not red.
And they don't have helmets.
I'll tell you who I want. I'll tell you, actually, speaking of
Okay,
Talon,
I can't find them.
I miss... What was the name of the Talon boss guy?
Al-Rahim.
Commander. Aurahem, yes, he was the coolest. Cool. I wanted Aurahem in my army so much. He was so cool. And Baston, I really like Baston from Cadia. I don't think he ever got a model, but I really like Baston.
And how can we forget Creed?
Creed. He's not going made to order. He's still around. He's still a thing.
True. And do you remember Commissar Yarrick when he had the crab claw?
Yes.
No.
I still have that model.
That was awesome, that model.
I have him and the Gosgold because they came in a box together.
I never saw them come in a box together. I know because I got the old Gazgol in my parents' attic somewhere where they came with Makari. And he basically had the stubbiest arms and the shortest fucking legs ever, and a big stupid toothy grin with huge tusks coming out of his chin.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh, and no elbows either, because there's this massive, like, gauntlet going up his entire arm, like with engraved with skulls, but no joints. And literally, just like, I have no elbows, but I have a curved sword.
Oh dear.
The old models are amazing.
Lee Derby.
Yes.
I think the Orcs got the best redesign out of all the models.
Yes, they did. Oh my god, they used
I have
to
to say,
look
I
awful.
really like the Orc range. I'm a big fan of the Orc range.
The second edition Orc range was kind of shit until Gorka Morka came along.
I have the second. I have.
But that being said, they're still selling the Orc War Buggy from second edition.
No, I love that thing.
I remember when that came out.
I have a bunch of second edition boys and grots, the goth boys with actually spiky helmets and like plate mail armor.
Oh god, yes, I remember.
They are so.
Once for the second edition box set.
It took me so long to sell those guys because no one believed that they were 40K models.
Well, I sold my Imperial Guard army and got like basically a full green tide in exchange for my Guard army, and I sold off like 15 of the boys and like 10 grots for a truck.
That's not bad.
Fair enough.
Also, I actually have. I've still got. I think this is still in the range. You know, the old orc shaman from fantasy, like he's dancing around like a lunatic. He's got like a weird staff in one hand, like a club staff.
Yes.
He's got a skull hat. He's my weird boy, and he's still in the range. He's actually the savage orc, bone splitters shaman model. They still use him. He's still in the range, and he's metal. He's fucking metal.
I actually, I just picked up a bunch of orcs in trade. I got 6 war bikes, a mega knob, 2 war bosses, and a weird boy. And all of it, except for the bikes, are metal.
You got the old mega knobs then. Ouch.
I have 1 old mega knob, so it's really
I've got
funny.
the old Nazdreg.
I want him to come back.
Nazdreg was a model?
He had 2 models. He had like one in the second edition, one like 4th edition, I think.
It wasn't in 4th edition. Wasn't in the 4th edition codex. He hasn't been in the codex.
I have seen the pictures of him where he's got like the plasma cannon instead of like the big shooter.
Yep.
I haven't, and it wasn't in the 4th ed codex.
It might have been 3rd edition potentially.
Must have been.
Or a data sheet for him.
That's possible.
That's also possible.
I remember him because he had the 3 ballistic skill. Because he was the best shooting orc.
Except for the orcs in second edition when they all had ballistic skill 3.
Yes.
Oh yes, you mentioned that last time.
Yes. I think he had ballistic skill 4 in that edition, but in the newer edition.
No, in that edition he had ballistic skill 6.
Holy shit!
It was like movement 4, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 6, strength 6, toughness 5, wounds 3, initiative 4, attacks 3, leadership 9.
Did anyone not take this guy? Blimey.
But yeah, you didn't take him if you took the Gazgol instead, who had literally like +1 all his stats apart from movement, and had the ability to become invulnerable for 1 turn.
I see.
Yeah, Gazgol was a monster in previous editions. He's kind of whatever now.
I still have fond memories of my council literally smashing everything. Like literally, I ran the first time I ever used the council. I used them against the Necron army, and I threw my council into like a 20-man block of warriors, and then he threw his Trout Praetorians in, and he threw his Lich Guard in, and he threw his Overlord in, and he threw his Catan in, and they all died to my council. it was the best thing because I couldn't fail a feel no pain. Grotznik was on fire.
I found the guardsmen. They are called Praetorians.
Yes, knew it.
They also come with 2 free dead guardsmen in their box.
Yes.
Winning.
Well, look, objective markers.
Yep. Oh, I don't know why you would save a guardsman, but yep.
Maybe he had
Very nice.
Maybe he recovered an STC. You never know.
That would
Yeah,
make him very,
but-
very valuable.
Indeed. Actually, that reminds me. Do you remember the Space Marine casualties that Forge World put out?
Yes, I do.
They were cool.
They were, yes. I think Games Workshop still sell like a version of them on their website. I think, but as web exclusives.
Yes, maybe.
Not the good Forge World ones, but like their own ones, which is like
Possibly.
it's something like 20 quid for 2 or something stupid like that.
Who knows? Actually, speaking about the upcoming stuff, in the rumors mill surrounding Prospero, I heard something about Dawn, and I don't know why. There was something.
Dawn?
Rogel Dawn.
Yeah, I know you mean Rogel, but what the fuck is Rogel Dawn got to do with the burning of Prospero? He
I
wasn't
think it was
involved.
I think it's assuming that it was just like with the general rumor mill, and Dawn was on the same page. So it's like maybe because it's talking about Thousand Suns, it talked about Demon Magnus, and then we're saying, well, maybe Dawn is on his way back in some capacity, or he'll be the next 30k Prime. Like, I don't flipping know.
Can we get Lion? I just want Lion.
The next
That's Lion.
30k Primarch, we know it's going to be after us. It's going to be Magnus because next
If it
book
isn't Magnus, I'm gonna flip a shit.
No, it's because the next book is going to be the Burning of Prospero for Horus Heresy game. It's literally that's the next book.
Yeah, so it
obviously
has to be Magnus.
It has to be Magnus. There's literally no other choice.
It should be Magnus, but you never know with these things.
No, it's true. You never know, but that would be the logical conclusion. Let's be honest.
Logically, yes. And maybe it was saying once Magnus is out of the way, it will be Dawn or something. I don't know. But I saw Dawn come up in the discussion.
I
So I
think
was like-
people are rumouring because you got a Demon Magnus, and it's going to be a Loyalist Primarch come back. But
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
I don't think we're going to have a Loyalist Primarch in 40k until we have an end time scenario, purely because in all the stories that come out, the Demon Primarchs do come back regularly, and it's usually only Magnus and Angron get shit done. Everyone else just sits in the wall.
Because Magnus fecked up Fenris. Angron actually basically got nothing done. He got banished by a Brotherhood of Grey Knights as soon as he showed up.
Yeah, but in fairness, he did invade World Armageddon, basically beat the shit out of the defenders, and the only reason he lost is because he was losing energy from the warp storm, had to erect monuments to the Chaos Gods.
Perturabo's got shit done once, I think. He sent a planet to shit. I think Lorgar's just doing Lorgar shit.
Lorgar's just
Fulgrim-
watching Songs of Praise masturbating furiously.
Oh, that's brilliant. Fulgrim, I don't think Fulgrim's been back, actually.
Oh my god.
No, Fulgrim's just masturbating furiously in general. He's on a world of pleasure, so...
And then has Mortarion been back? Yeah, he killed the Grey
Yeah,
Knights
he
Grandmaster.
went on a date with Drago. He's
Yeah,
got a
and Drago
tattoo of
carved
him
his heart.
across his neck, across his chest.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yes. So the Demon Primarchs will come back just because they've been featured in the stories so often. It seems logical to bring them back for, like, special events or campaigns and stuff like that. Because they generally get shit done. The Loyalist Primarchs, that are too busy being dead or sleeping.
Yes, and we shall talk. Actually, I shall bring up the context of the end time scenario in our comment showcase, which we shall get to eventually.
I just recorded a video for my theories on the end time, and I don't think I'm gonna post it because I was listening to it and I'm like, Alexis, you make no fucking sense.
Yeah, I admit my end times theory that I did, or my end times discussion that I did, at the end of Fantasy was could they do it for 40k? It's I listened back to it, it's that is some of the most ridiculous bullshit I have ever spoken in my life.
Oh, speaking of dumb shit,
This is not Ward related.
I think I topped hashtag hive ship sex.
How?
What?
How?
Hashtag pinecone testicle.
Why did you have to say that on the podcast, Alexis?
Pinecone testicle.
Go watch my latest video, okay? It's my Tyranid overview video, and it's on the Tyranna site. Now,
Please restrain to use this
every
in my
comment.
Or you will get banned.
Maybe it could be a compilation hashtag pinecone testicle of sex or something. I don't know.
Nope, just hands.
Sure.
Everybody in the comments down below, make sure you spam all of our videos with this.
No, if you do it on my channel, I will make it into a banned phrase and you will not use it again, and you may well get ignored because shut up. I don't like it, go away.
I'm still waiting for the fan art of hive ship sex.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of fan thingy jibs, we had some comments talking about our little intro, which you've seen at least once because you're watching this. And in terms of like changing it and doing something else with it, and a thought that's gone through our minds is, well, we can't animate for shit.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, we can't do much animation, and it's too expensive for us to go and pay someone because it costs like £1,000 every 3 seconds, or whatever it costs.
It's like £30 an hour for some professional animators.
I'm
Is that
dirt
£30
poor.
an hour of footage or £30 an hour of work?
Work.
I was going to say. So, yes, we can't afford that because, well, I'm a uni student. Remleiz can't even afford an army, and Alexis has just dropped 300 entire month's wages on Gene Stealer cults. So,
In all fairness, I actually didn't. I restrained myself.
You only spent most of the month's wages on it.
I only spent $150.
That's half then.
Yes. Because I had to pay
So,
car
yes.
insurance.
Yes. So if any of you are skilled animators and fancy coming up with a fun new intro, then feel free and let one of us know. I'm sure all of us have a business email that you can drop it to. Just give it a nice, obvious title like Adeptus Podcastus Intro, just so we don't think you're a spammer because, well, that happens. And yeah, if someone has the skills to take it on, then we will absolutely take a listen.
Yeah. I have nothing to add to that. That was kind of perfect.
Speaking of the fans and that, the comment section would.
Yes. I have the comment section, and there were a lot of comments on the last podcast, so I filtered it by everyone who typed question. So everyone who asked the question actually put question in their question, then I have got your question in front of me. But we're not going to do them all, because like even if I filtered that down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with that filter. And quite frankly, I don't think we're going to get through all of those, not if we want this podcast to last any more than a day, less than a day. So we will shorten it a little bit. But yes, the comments. So this was the highest voted comment, so I'm going to write with this. If we could go to the 40K universe, would we? And if so, where would you want to fit into, i.e. join the Tau, the Mechanicum, etc.? I clarified this. It can be either as a flying visit, like a holiday, or you go and you stay there. Either will work. So if you could go to 40K for any period of time, would you, and where?
These people have seen 40K, right? It's scary.
Yeah. No, it's like that question, what would you be in the 40K universe? Fucking dead.
Dead.
No, but I would probably visit an Eldar Paradise world.
I thought you'd go to Fulgrim's Planet of Pleasure.
No, that's the second trip. First, I need to convince the Eldar to come with me.
Oh, right.
Hey guys, come here. This will be awesome. Check this out. Whoop! There goes Slanesh. Can I relax here for a few hours? Yay!
Yeah, just don't sleep on the beach in the 6th circle or you'll never wake up again.
Yeah. Or, walk through the forest because you'll turn into a tree.
No, as long as you don't stop and look at anything, you'll be fine.
I'm not sure where I'd want to go if I want to go anywhere in 40K. 30K, maybe, before the outbreak of the heresy. It might be nice to visit somebody.
It'd be cool to be a Remleiz for a while.
Yes.
I mean,
I would go. Just go being stuck with one of the legions, ones that won't get fucked up. Be on the right side of history. Is like, right, who do I want to be on? As annoying as it is, it's probably safest to go and sit on the crag somewhere. Meet with the
Probably.
officers. because
It's probably safest.
just make sure you're gone before the Tyrants show up.
Yeah, you've got 9,000 years. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be long dead by then. As for me, I honestly don't know. Like, as fun as it might be to go and learn how to do science with the Earthcast, or to go and have a. Oh, honestly, I'm a physicist. What do you expect me to say? Or to go and learn some psychic bullshit off somebody or another. It would probably be a very much drop in, drop out thing in my case. I certainly wouldn't want to live in the 40k universe for more than 5 minutes.
God, no.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this. A little bit more. Where would I go? I'd have to stick with the Eldar and go to a craft world. It just seems the safest.
If they let you on, wouldn't shoot you in the first place.
Well, I'm assuming
We're
if you're...
assuming they're not going to kill you on sight if you try to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm assuming that as much. Or I'd probably go to the Tau. Those two seem the safest.
The Tau Empire is definitely probably the safest place because the Eldar craft worlds are like going through the webway and basically sometimes the warp, and they're not easy targets, but they're out in space.
Or I'd go and
Being with
visit.
the Tau be like the equivalent of going to like Jonestown or something. So we're just going to forcibly castrate you for your stay. Thank you.
Oh, Jesus.
You sound like a bloody Sainsbury's announcer then.
Or I would go to any I would actually visit Holy Terra, and just tell the High Lords like everything that's happening.
So you
And then they
basically
kill you for
turn into
heresy.
Kit.
Well, I'm assuming I'd be able to warp out quick enough.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yes, interesting question. So thank you to Douglas Dill for that question. Next one is a question from one Pyro Skies. They asked 3 questions, but I'm only going to do one, which is the one I thought was probably the most useful. Since I want to get into 40k, where does one go to actually find players to play with, and do you suggest any game modes I should try first? I'm going to start off... Oh, go on, Alexis. Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so first, start collecting. Kill team. And you could just visit a Games Workshop website and go to their store finder and find where their stuff is sold. And once you go there, there will more than likely be tables there and a gaming group.
Agreed. The other thing you can do, this is a little bit more risky, is finding a Facebook group of like a hobby-based Facebook group and just saying, does anybody live in this area? And if so, I'm looking to get into the game. Would I be able to... it's a little bit more risky because you don't know what you're getting into, but it's something you can do because a lot of people who are in those hobby groups are there as hobbyists. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's an option.
Yep.
But yeah, Kill Team is a really good place to start. My local Games Workshop actually is very good for beginners because we have dedicated beginner events on weekends, and our 40k league is scaled. You have 3 leagues. One's at 500, one's at 1,000, one's at 80 and 50 points, so you can easily get into playing competitively with small lists.
Now, is this guy an American or...
Don't know. I can't get that information.
Because, if he's from my side of the pond, your best bet is Facebook group and then search for a store. Because we don't have Games Workshops. Yeah,
the reply to the comment was about the store finder, so it's definitely an option.
Yep.
Okay, next one is from Maverick Andre. Which army from the lore would you want GW to make next? Similar to Skitarii or Cultists? So sort of like an army that's in the lore that has either never had or has been ages and ages and ages without one.
This is Remleiz.
Other than sisters, because obviously sisters are a thing. But yes, I think I know where Remleiz may want to go with this, although I won't say anything.
Red, Arachnid.
Well, where do you even start? There's so many races in the lore that you can actually make armies of. I mean, firstly, we can have a proper squat codex for one. Or
I
secondly,
thought squats was coming.
or we could have something like the Torellians, the Rakgol, something like that. You know, the Loxatl.
The Megarachnid.
Yeah, Megarachnid. Hrud.
Hrud would be cool.
Space Skaven, yeah. Actually, I think there's a Skaven question actually in this thingamajig somewhere, so I might find that and actually ask that. Second part to the question. Would you consider text-to-speech canon if GW was okay with it? This is a stupid question. Yes.
To be honest, I've noticed a lot of the Black Library people follow a lot of this Facebook groups,
They do, yes.
So, and I noticed that some of them sometimes comment on our videos.
I haven't seen it myself, but it's possible.
So, I'm not going to say it's fully canon, but they might get ideas, inspiration from us.
I know there are a few Black Library writers who are fans of TTS. That much I do know. I mean, I know for one thing that Gav Thorpe is a fan.
But he's not writing. Is he still writing with BL? Or is he
yes,
left?
He is. He recently he's doing 13th Wolf, I think.
I see.
And he also just recently did that Angels of Caliban as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. He stopped writing for GW because he's no
longer a games designer, but he's carrying on as an author.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. So yeah, if GW is okay with it, I think it's very cool as canon. Although they'd have to definitely censor it quite a lot to make it more friendly to the 12-year-olds who can play this game. But
Also, I don't think that's a stupid question. I think that's a very, very, very well done question because you're asking if Games Workshop listens to their audience.
No, what he's asking is if GW was okay with TTS being canon, would we want it to be canon? Is the question.
Well, it can't be canon because reasons, but still.
As much as I love TTS, I really wouldn't want it to be canon just because of how silly it is. Don't get me wrong. As I said, I love it.
Yeah, same here.
But I don't want 40K going back to being over the top silly like it was with Rogue Trader.
Yeah, orcs sticking their heads out the windows and yelling at each other in space.
Yeah, you make a point. I guess like the immediate snap response is like the amount of cool stuff that Alpha comes up with is like, yeah, that would be awesome if it was canon. But then the more you sit and think, guys, like, it's really cool and it's hilarious, but would you want that to be the actual way the story went? Well, maybe. I don't know.
Well, with Drago, definitely, because reasons.
Yes,
Let's
indeed.
just kill that character off.
We haven't seen you since you battled Mortarion. Was it, I banished him to the Super War because hounds don't exist in my reality?
Yes, so sorry, Andre, for calling your question stupid. It wasn't stupid, actually more insightful than I gave it credit for. So I need to do a little bit of scrolling to find one that I thought... this is the one I was looking for. From Queek Skavenson. I don't know if this account was made literally for the purpose of this question. So how would the 40k Galaxy's factions be affected if the Skaven or a species extremely like them, as in similar society, tech, such as the fact that they have what is essentially electrical systems in a medieval fantasy setting, so pretty advanced tech for the setting, and the ability to make Norways, cough, poorly constructed webways, and a similarly ridiculous reproductive rate, and they reach adult size, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, would it benefit factions? Would it lead to some species falling? What would be their primary enemy? And how do you think this Skaven-like species would come about? Well, Hrud were Skaven in space, am I right?
Not anymore. They've been retconned to being weird blob monsters.
Oh, yeah, you've told me this before, I think. Me this before.
There is a species in Rogue Trader that could be a Skaven analog. I did do a video on it a few months ago. I've forgotten the full name, but it's like Species X4279, something along those lines. Just can't call it Species X for brevity. But they were like a species of rodent-like hominids that were crash-landed on a planet, and because of the planet's radiation, it basically drove them completely feral. Mm-hmm. But we've not seen these creatures before, except stranded on this planet, so that means there's got to be a planet where these things come from.
Indeed.
So obviously, so there is a planet of rodent-like creatures out there that have a technology level to go into space. So you never know; we might see them in the future.
It's not impossible.
There's also the theory that they came from Terra, they left Terra, blah blah blah. Anyway, they founded themselves on a planet and were just hit by a warp storm and set back. Like, they're all of their, how to say it, kind of like a reverse of the Tau.
So they devolved rather
than
evolved. Okay. It's possible, but yeah, the implication is that they basically do what the AOS Skaven do, which is kind of like create dodgy webway portals and can get around the galaxy really quickly and like have a reproductive cycle like as fast as orcs and Tyranids. Like what would that do to the galaxy as a whole? I could certainly see the Eldar getting messed up.
There'll be a lot more planets being blown up. Because, let's be honest, planet infested with space Skaven, the Imperium's going to go, yeah, just nuke the fucking thing.
Yeah, gone. Boom.
Yeah. I will
Still a
admit
bang,
my
Rat's got.
my knowledge on the Skaven is very limited.
True. I mean, I sort of know old fantasy Skaven lore very, very loosely, but the AOS lore has definitely changed that how they work a little bit. But they're on the Chaos side in Age of Sigmar, so like they have a faction called Pestilence, and they basically serve Nurgle. So they'd kind of be on the side of Chaos without meaning to be, maybe. Depends on how you align them as to what sort of fuckery goes on, I guess.
Well, the Horn Rat's basically the love child of the ancient Nurgle.
Yeah, lightning and plagues. Yeah, that's about right.
Intelligence and disease.
Yep, basically.
It's like a little comic, when the Horn Rat was revealed as the new 4th Chaos card. That Horn Rat's going to Nurgle and say, "Daddy, I'm into the Pantheon." Fuck off. But Daddy, get out of my house. I miss Slanesh.
Indeed. Okay, so I'll do two more because I think I'll do one quickly and then there's one that I want to do. So this one's from Armor Tech. How did you get into 40K and the lore? So what was the hook?
Okay.
Sorry.
No, Remleiz first. Mine is comical.
Right.
This was when I was back at primary school. Like, it was in year 3.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, some kid in my class brought in a Rogue Trader era Citadel Miniatures catalog.
Yeah, for context, Alexis, year 3 is about 8 years old.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a dumb American.
And I just saw these models and the artwork, and it looked so cool. And I lost track of what it was after that kid, because that kid left school because he moved away like about a few weeks later.
Okay.
And then this was like back in 1996. I was out shopping with my parents. When you go into a supermarket, you got a big magazine stand when you go in, and just when you walk in. And I spotted a copy of White Dwarf, and I remembered, and I noticed the artwork was similar to what I saw those years ago, and I just basically blagged my dad to buy it for me, and I just hooked on now, just reading through it.
And you've always been into the lore from then on, hooked on. What was the favorite story back then, out of interest?
When I got into it, it was around White Dwarf 199, like the old White Dwarf.
Yeah.
And the original run. And that was when Chaos, the second edition Chaos Codex had been released.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing at the time, because it was really pushing all about Khan the Betrayer and Abaddon and Ahriman. And...
I can see why that's a hook.
Yeah.
Who would win a fight between those two?
Depends on how far apart they started. Yeah, for me, mine is slightly comical, slightly serious. I was in year 6 or 7, year 6, going into year 7. So I was 11, 12, and I was a massive Pokemon nerd in primary school. I was a massive Pokemon nerd.
We all were. It's okay.
Perhaps, yes, but I was coming home from band rehearsal because I used to play in a brass band with my friend who was the percussionist. He was a bit more metal than you might have. So he was into Iron Maiden and all of that stuff. And he starts telling me about this thing called Warhammer. And I'm like, well, can you contextualize that? Well, I didn't use such big words. I was 11. Just explain that in things I'll understand. And then, so what he did was he threw, because this was Gen 3 Pokemon, so Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So he said, right, here's Kyogre, here's Groudon, here's Rayquaza, here's a Imperator Titan, stomp. That was it. And I was like, okay, that's really, 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 really cool. And that was literally the first issue I went to buy of White Dwarf was the day 5th Ed came out. So I was given a brief intro to the entire game and the lore in one fell swoop. And in terms of what got me into the lore, I think it was Wazdaka. It was basically Wazdaka.
Wazdaka Gunsmack, yes.
Yes, because my first conversion of Wazdaka was actually using a Lego brick to represent the mesa that he was riding off of when he crashed into that Warhound Titan.
Nice.
It looks shit, but
Okay, my turn?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I had a fat nerd sitting next to me named Justin.
Right. That's a really good start.
Now, you know that typical neckbeard nerd that everyone likes.
Did he have a trilby?
Of course. He didn't develop it at the time. It grew on him later.
Anyway.
Did he go milady?
Yes. He didn't start that until way after, though.
Anyway.
The reason I mention this is because 3 of my fans actually know this person.
Oh.
God.
Okay? If you ever
Special shout out
want
to you, Justin.
If you ever
Sorry.
want to see what an American is, you look at Justin.
Is he
Massively,
made of apple pies and eagles?
he is made out of massively overweight, sarcastic asshole. When we went to Britain, he wore a shirt with the American flag on it and yelled about the Queen.
Oh, God, not that.
Oh, God.
TFG. Oh.
So, that's who got me into 40K.
Was he the kind of guy who, like, you'd go to McDonald's and he had, like, 6, like, Big Macs, a milkshake, 10 portions of fries, and, like, a Diet Coke because he was watching his weight?
No, ironically, he didn't actually eat that much. Yeah, that's a weird thing about Johnston. He drinks like a champion, but he doesn't eat that much.
Anyway.
So the weird thing that I have to follow up on that is, like, so you've got this kid next to, like, how does that get you into 40K, and particularly the lore, because obviously at that age, because you're in, like, primary school, people don't really care about big, long books. People are just cared about sci-fi laser guns and smashing people in the face.
At a very young age, I read Jurassic Park. I was into very long books.
Okay, but where was the 40K hook?
Okay, so one day during a study hall, we're sitting down and he's screaming and carrying on about Star Wars. No, somebody else was screaming and carrying on about Star Wars. And he's like,
"Oh, is this going to be a my stormtrooper is better than your stormtrooper debate?"
Oh yeah, it was a dick measuring contest. But he had the God Emperor on his side.
Yes.
I was so fascinated by the way he described a space marine. I wanted to know what it was. And he had all the models. He would sit there and paint during class because fuck the teachers. He didn't care about anything. He is a legend.
This heavy support, so it's not going to fill itself.
He is the man, the myth, the legend.
Fair enough.
Okay, so he's talking about the lore and everything, and I'm friends with him because I'm a sadistic person. And he's talking about the lore, talking about the models, painting the models, and he is awful at painting, which is hilarious.
At that age, we all were.
No, he's still just as bad. Like, he's been playing for as long as Remleiz has been into the fluff. Yeah, he's been playing a long time, and his painting skills
he's been doing it over 20 years.
Yes.
That's as long as I've been alive, for fuck's sake.
His painting skills are atrocious, but he's such a great person. But they look, at a distance, okay.
At a distance, if you squint your eyes in low lights and use the reverse of a magnifying glass.
And you use certain filters on your camera, yes. Anyway.
Prisma for the win.
So, he gives me a Space Marine to paint. And I painted up, and I was like really excited about it. And then we went on a trip to London. And that's when he convinced me, him and my friend Keith was also getting into it, but Keith wasn't really that big of an influence on me. But he convinced me to buy the Tyranids versus Space Marines Battle from a Crag box set.
That was only like 2004, so that's only 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've only been into the game that long.
Oh, I don't know why. I think of study hall and stuff like that. I go back a little earlier than that. My bad.
No, Americans are just really stupid. No, so I picked up that box.
She's still not us.
No, have you seen our elections? It's hilarious. Anyway.
Have you seen ours?
Let's not go into politics.
Anyway.
Yeah, move on.
Move on.
So I got my first set. I painted up my first Space Marines red and black. They looked atrocious. They were awful. And I fell in love with them. And fighting the giant monster Tyranids, fighting these robotic, like, mechs, which was the Tau, and fighting the gay little Eldar. In all fairness, my young friend, who also happened to be gay, played Eldar and called him his gay little Eldar. So that is not insulting. That's what he called his army.
But was he doing the posh gay little Eldar or the kinky gay little Eldar?
He was definitely doing the full-blown fabulous gay Eldar.
It's a Crawford Eldar.
And just the way the first game like really got me addicted. It was like, yeah, and it also helped me through a lot of depression. So Warhammer is actually, I've been attached to it so much because when I lost my friends because of, well, reasons, transition being one of them, and me being a lonely person by nature, Warhammer actually got me through all of this, got me through like depression, got me through everything. And I sat back and painted, and I built up an army, and I loved it, and the community was so open and welcoming.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I mean, I've not been in your position, obviously, but I...
Or have you?
No, I haven't. But I've gone through like 8 years of schooling and new friends, old friends, and all the other stuff that's out there. I mean, I'm now a university student, and I'm basically on my own when I'm not in the Schuster building studying. And like I've got one constant, well, two constants. One is food, and the other is 40K, and it's been that way for 8 years. The one just as I was starting the hobby, like I bought Black Reach about 3 days after my dad had a liver transplant. So like it was just like that was my way of keeping busy, was to just build these shitty looking orcs and space marines and take them in when we went in to see them and stuff. And they looked god awful, but I think that helped me. Although, to be honest, I actually thought power swords doubled your strength and struck at initiative like a moron.
That would be amazing.
So the Space Marine captain always wrecked my war boss, even though he would have wrecked him anyway. But yeah, it was, and we're still here, still doing what we're doing. But the one, apart from my family and food, the constant in my life has been 40K. And this channel, like sometimes I think like, what are you going to do in like 10 years time? What are you going to look back and say, I'm really proud of that? Like, I can look back on my academia. What do you fucking do? I got good grades. That's really nice. But I can say I have been part of and helped foster, in a way, with what we do now, a fantastic community. And I've like 4 or 5 times I tried to sit down and make a video where I said thank you to the community for us being awesome. I won't tell the story of exactly why I was going to sit down and do that video, because I'm not going to rub anyone's face or rub anyone the wrong way. But this community is awesome, and I'll never say anything different.
Remleiz, your story sucked.
Sorry, I got very, very morbid there, and I shouldn't have done. My bad.
On a slight change of subject, I remember one time, and this is around just when 3rd edition came out, and I was at Games Workshop in Reading, and I remember getting kicked out of the Games Workshop because I had the audacity to correct the manager on his rules reading. Because the manager at the time was just some fat bastard neckbeard anyway. I don't give a fuck, he don't work.
It was Justin. Anyway.
And I don't even live in the same town anymore. But anyway, that's beside the point. He had, it was like a massive community game, on a Saturday, everyone turns up. Someone's Space Marines, the opposing team's Space Marines failed a leadership test. And he's like, right, they got to retreat. It's like, yeah, but they should know no fear. They automatically regroup at the end of the turn. Get out. What? Get out the shop. Literally like that. Just because I told them about they should know no fear.
Technically, he was correct. They did have to fall back, even if they didn't.
Yes, but they still have to regroup. He said they didn't have to regroup. Is what I'm getting at.
Right.
But I said, yeah, but they have regrouped now, haven't they? No, they don't regroup. They have to pass on our leadership test next turn. No, they don't. They do it automatically because the Anstay shall know no fear. Get out. That fat fucking guy. Just, some people are so fucking silly. If he spent more time reading the fucking book and less time eating out fucking Krispy Kreme, fuck's sake. Anyway.
Wow, I've never heard so much vitriol and salt out of Remleiz's mouth as in that sentence. Actually, no.
I'm sorry, but when, like a 12-year-old kid knows more about the fucking rules than the fucking manager of Games Workshop. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know. It's just been, it was initially a transition between second and third edition, but still, guys, come on.
I know. Actually, I say that's the most vitriol assault I've ever heard. Well, now we're going to do the end times question. It's the last one. It comes from Lord Porterhouse. So, seeing how GW is more than likely bringing forth the end times, yes, they capitalised, so I'm going to do dramatic effects. Despite my misgivings and the dumpster fire that Sigmar is, his words, not mine, I disagree. I have a scenario for the three of you knowledgeable souls. Who the hell are you talking to? If it has to happen, how would you each feel it should go? I.e. scenario, rules, and fluff we could all live with. I've done this. It was bullshit, but I've done this. Go on, Alexis.
Okay. In my opinion, the end times, 30K and 40K are just going to run in a constant cycle of GW making money. Okay?
Yes.
And
obviously.
hear me out on this. The end times, the Emperor dies. He's going to ascend, reincarnate. Boom, the Emperor's back. He's going to take his children back. Boom, the Primarchs are back. This is going to, when the Emperor ascends, the Eldar are going to die and then reincarnate because they need to defeat Slaanesh. Slaanesh is going to be momentarily beaten until, people jerk off enough and create her with more power, along with the other Chaos Gods, because there's going to need to be constant warfare. And, the constant renewal will increase Nurgle, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I believe none of the races are going to die. None of them are going to be kicked out of the fluff. Instead, what's going to happen is Imperium is going to get better. They're going to get out of the Dark Ages and actually start pushing for the future with the Emperor alive now. The Craftworld Eldar are going to keep being Craftworld Eldar and doing what they do because, well, whatever. They're also going to get back their ability to procreate at a more efficient rate.
You mean at all?
No, they can procreate. It just takes a few decades. Actually, it takes like a year to make a child.
Eldar females need to be mated with constantly during pregnancy to make sure the child gets an additional DNA to aid in their growth.
And wonder they created a freaking god out of it.
It's genuinely I feel it to be a very inefficient reproductive system.
Yeah. Orcs are going to get really, really, really huge and crash into the Tyranids, which is going to push them back to the fringes of the galaxy. But the Orcs are going to take such a big loss that their empires is going to be split up again, just the way Eldritch is planning. The Tau are going to expand, become bigger. The Necrons are going to awaken more, and some of them are going to be destroyed.
I have a question. Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
If the Orcs are going to shove the Tyranids all the way back to the eastern fringe, then how the bloody hell are the Tau going to survive that? I don't care how big your guns are. If you've literally got a galaxy-wide war shoving the Hive Fleet in your direction, you ain't got a hope in hell. Either the Tyranids are going to eat you, or the Orcs are going to smash you. I'm a big Tau fan, but they're fucked.
And even in fairness, even the Ultramarines are going to be in trouble because they got the fucking Ultramar Empire around that way as well.
I honestly think that's going to fall. I think the Marines are going to pull back. The Tau are going to figure out how to do a damn Gullah Field and go into the warp momentarily.
They can do FTL, but they have no way to go into the warp. They have no psychic power, no navigator. They can't.
Just give them
unless they're warp portals.
Give them a fight with the Inquisition or any Imperial space vessel, and they can figure out what a Gullah Field is.
I just had a thought. If the Emperor returns and ascends, that's going to create another civil war because you're going to have the believers and the unbelievers.
Exactly. That's why there's going to be another Great Crusade and go back to 30K, and then all of it is going to happen again.
Because you're going to have some people think that, yes, the Emperor has returned. Some people think, no, that's heresy. That's heresy because the Emperor can't be back, so it's someone impossible.
Which splits the Imperium twice, and you've still got Chaos at full power.
Exactly.
No, because once the Emperor ascends and then reincarnates, he's going to, not defeat, but greatly weaken the Chaos Gods.
For 5 minutes.
No, for quite a long time. Similar to that
Until
when...
all the Chaos Gods join forces to beat the shit out of him, like they always do when a new god joins the ranks.
Well, look what happened the first time. They couldn't actually beat the Emperor.
It's because he wasn't a god then.
Yeah. I think with the
He was
Eldar
awesome.
help, the Emperor would be able to hold back the Chaos Gods and create a safer, more calm warp. I know that sounds weird, but if you look at the fluff of the old ones, they used to dive into the warp and use the warp as a power source without any ill effects.
But that was before any of the warp entities were created. It was actually due to their fucking around the warp that actually created all the gods and demons, essentially.
That's true.
And by that extension, therefore, yes, you could do that, but at this point, it's so effed up that even if you fixed a few things and knocked the gods down into a tiny ice cube in that puddle, as your metaphor so aptly put it, they're still going to be there. And
what you need to do using the metaphor, what you need to do is basically, instead of melting him down into the puddle, you need to drain the fucking bath.
Good point.
Yes.
So yeah,
here's the other thing. If the Emperor can do anything when he ascends before he reincarnates, he might be able to close the Eye of Terror.
That still leaves the Maelstrom.
Yes.
And the Storm of the Emperor's Wrath.
Yes. So it reduces...
And the Damocles Gulf. And a bunch of other shit.
It still reduces the amount of demons pouring into the galaxy.
And you still need to take control of every Psyker's mind, because a demon could potentially pour through the mind of a Psyker.
Well, that's the thing. I think that the Emperor would actually start killing Psykers. Or he might do what TTS said and actually tell his sons what the fuck he's doing.
And if he's killing Psykers, that means the Astronomicon won't be powered.
Actually, yes. If people
here's the thing, though.
A point.
Eldar are more potent Psykers.
And they're not powering the Astronomicon.
What if, and this is crazy, but what if they got a powerful Eldar Psyker to power it?
Considering you need 1,000 human Psykers to power the Astronomicon at any given time, one Eldar is not likely to cut it.
Yeah, like 1,000 human Psykers to give the Emperor enough power to turn on the Astronomicon.
A day.
A day.
1,000 die a day as well.
Yeah, and
you've got...
Well, it's never stated how powerful those Psykers are.
They are literally anyone the black ships can get their hands on.
I think it could still be done. I'm gonna stick to my theory.
The thing is, like, if it requires a portion of the Emperor's psyche with 1,000 Psykers, even the most powerful human Psyker was Magnus. Magnus plus Malkador plus Eldrad, I still don't think stand a chance against the Emperor in a psychic fight.
Well, I think Magnus could probably power it himself.
For a day, maybe.
No, because, Malkador held it for what, like 2 hours?
Yeah, but in fairness, Malkador was a very, very, very old man. He probably just couldn't hold it because his body gave out.
That was pretty much what it was. His body gave out rather than his mind.
Because don't forget, Malkador was, utter badass when it came to psychic powers. Lorgar bitched up him to the ground. He basically got back up and basically, Harry Pottered the stuff over to his hand from outside the room. There you go.
All right, so that was just my theory, though. I think it's going to be a never-ending cycle of, hey, the Emperor's back, crusade, betrayal, death of the Emperor, time of dying, start over.
Possible.
Because each time you can go, hey, we got new stuff, everybody. We lost it.
To be honest, I would like, if an end-time scenario was to happen, I would like it to appear similar to that. Have you ever read that fan fiction, The Nightmare to Come?
Nope.
No.
Someone's written a fan fiction basically about Warhammer 40K, and there's things like the Emperor has died, and a new Eye of Terror has opened up around Terra, and Chaos is basically, Chaos has broken the Cadian gates. The Tower basically become more warlike and aggressive because of all these other races being so warlike. They've been forced to. The Eldar have gone extinct. The Orcs have gone extinct. Basically, they've been devoured completely by the Tyranids and basically merged their DNA. So basically, Tyranids reproduce via spores.
That's horrifying.
Which is one thing I probably would change, because I don't think, considering how Tyrants reproduce just bows on the ship. They've incorporated Orc DNA before with the Biovore. If they haven't incorporated a small thing as useful then, they probably wouldn't do it now. I could be wrong. But anyway, the Astronomicon is dead, so basically the galaxy is split into loads of tiny little empires. The Black Templars and the Inquisition are basically go around purging planets for not believing the God Emperor. Various space marines have been forced to becoming essentially pirates and raiders because, well, the Imperium's dead, the Emperor's dead, we've got nothing else to do. In particular, the White Scars and the Raven Guard are apparently the most dangerous.
That's not a surprise.
The Emperor himself became a Chaos God, an actual Chaos God, because he was fueled by his desire to protect humanity, and that got corrupted in the war to basically instead to protect humanity, he must dominate humanity, and basically every human soul that goes to him basically becomes a mindless slave.
So he's basically the human version of Slanesh.
Not quite. Basically, everyone becomes a mindless drone. No, not just a slave to pleasure. Basically, literally just a drone, like in a hive. And he has his most powerful demonic servant is called the Malkador.
Ha.
Yeah. Basically, apparently it was the very first soul claimed reborn by the Emperor as a god. And there's a lot I'm missing here, but it's actually so well written. I actually do recommend people to check it out.
It does sound cool. The whole idea of again, I come back to like the Tau would stand absolutely no bloody chance, but never mind. Particularly if the Orcs were eaten off by the Tyranids, the amount of even if they evolved nothing from the Orcs, the amount of biomass the Tyranids would get off of them. Dear God.
Oh, and also I remembered as well, Commissar Yarrick is still around in 50k as well. He's traveling the webway, and he's known simply as the Hermit.
How is he alive?
Because Yarrick.
He's in the webway. Basically, just people notice him with an old man wrapped in a cloak with a massive bionic arm, searching for a place known as Armageddon,
which will have been swallowed up by the first Eye of Terror, I would wager.
And the Cadians are now under Abaddon's command, and basically is now turning to war between Chaos and the Necrons.
Do Perpetuals age?
Yes, they must do, because otherwise John Grammaticus would have been a one-day-old baby when he died.
Could Yarrick just be a Perpetual?
It's not canonically confirmed. It's been put down to his willpower, but it's certainly not implausible.
Because, I mean, if a Perpetual Primarch like
Vulcan
could survive for 10,000 years, I'm assuming a human Perpetual could live for like 500.
Well, but don't forget, Lionel Johnson's still alive. He's been sleeping for 10,000 years in the middle of his, of the rock.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily in stasis, just slow sleeping.
That is a seriously good dream he's having.
Yeah. What if everything in 4K is just Lionel Johnson's dream?
Oh my God! Don't go Ash Pokemon theory on this shit. Hashtag the warp did it.
No, the Ash theory is basically the whole Ho-Oh thing. But anyway, this isn't Pokemon theories. This is just a theory. I'm still not saying it, so fuck you.
Yeah, somebody tried in your comments, didn't they? And it was like, nope.
Someone tried it. Alpha Beta wanted me to have me say it in the TGS video, but he decided against it, thankfully. Thank you, Alpha. But anyway, moving on. If End Times happened, I would like it to be like The Nightmare Beyond, except without the Tyrants eating the entire Orc species.
Because bullshit.
Yeah, that's a little hard for me to swallow. No,
it'd be pretty hard for them to swallow as well, to be honest.
Indeed. So moving on, what's next on the agenda?
I think everybody's kind of had a rant at this point, so we've already done that.
Huh.
So I'm going to go again. Fuck that neckbeard manager, you fuck.
Oh, dear.
Oh my God.
And your shittily painted Ultramarines as well. I don't give a fuck if you're the manager. You're a cunt.
Oh my God, Remleiz.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to anyone who's like one of my subscribers who just dive over and like used to PC. Oh my goodness me.
Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay, I got something lighthearted for this.
That might help.
I just need to find it. Okay. Sly Marbo.
Yeah.
Sneak Rot. The
Yeah.
Death Leaper.
Yeah.
Cypher. And Alfarius.
Mm-hmm.
All on one planet. Who gets found first?
Sly Marbo, because he doesn't do stealth. He just goes, ah, and just hits people.
No, I would go Snickrot because he'd. Well, no, Snickrot might be the first to turn up, but you'd only find him by the trail of dead bodies he left behind him.
Same with the Death Leaper.
No, the Death Leaper spends ages terrifying the shit out of its victim before it kills them. So you'd actually kind of work out where the Death Leaper's rough position or target would be worked out by who was flipping out the most.
What was that other special lictor? Was it the Mist Lurker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Literally, it's just lictor that basically only attacks when there's like a heavy fog.
Yeah, I tried to do a cover of him in my latest video, and I was just like, okay, there's like a sentence for him. He's just a lictor.
Yeah.
Speaking of only being sentences, sorry to interrupt. Feeling it, they will have one sentence in the Imperial Guard Codex, and yet the wiki page for it has like an entire article. So where the fuck do you even get this information from?
Well, if you read
Probably
between
Rogue
the
Trader.
lines.
No, because they weren't in Rogue Trader. They were only featured in. They came about in 4th edition, I think, 4th or 5th edition.
Oh,
The
I see.
Imperial Guard Codex, basically being there's a little thing about abhumans. They mention Homo sapiens hirsutus, basically known as the Phoenix, named to the word Carlos McConnell, and that's basically about it. And yet, people think, they must be Nico. They're cat people. It's like, it seems logical to assume they're cat people, given the name Felinid, yes. But how the fuck do you know they're a Nico? Those you don't know, Nikos are basically humans with cat-eating tails. Like you see in every single Japanese anime.
It's
Or hentai, if you
Neko.
prefer. Is it
Neko.
Neko? Nico sounds cuter. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a video on them soon anyway. So I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's just like how people can get so much information just from one fucking sentence is beyond me at times.
Isn't that what we do, though, as theorists? Is we just take the tiniest scrap of information and fucking run with it?
Yes. I
Yes, but
usually make things
we
up.
always try to at least, collaborate sources and stuff like that. And try
By
to
which
make
you mean read as many wiki articles as possible and cheat.
no, not necessarily wiki articles. Let's be honest. If you can't cite a source, then don't trust it.
Lexicanum cites its sources a little better, to be fair.
It does, yes.
Unfortunately, Lexicanum is usually horribly lacking in information as a result.
Anyway.
Oh man. No,
I
that's
won't
really
go into
funny.
more details about the feeling just because I have got a video of them coming up in a couple of weeks. I've also got a video about Rabute Gilliman coming up as well.
Don't you mean coming out?
Hey,
Dun, dun, dun. Ah, dear.
I still have to finish my Primarch videos. I haven't done anything beyond like the first script of Russ, and I was just like, I'm bored.
Didn't you sent it? You've done a second one, haven't you? Because you sent it to us.
Yeah, I did Lion, L. Johnson,
Yeah, you did Lion.
and
Yeah, you've done
Russ.
Lion.
I'm gonna just do the ones that actually fall to the Chaos Gods, and I don't give a fuck about the other ones.
speaking of Lionel Johnson, and the fact that The Rock was named after a gay nightclub.
I'm okay with that.
I'm sure you've
Well,
sold us that like podcast ago
actually-
when we talked about the Dark Angels.
Hear me out on this. In my Primarch videos, if I continue with them, like if this is successful, I'm gonna actually talk about Lionel Johnson's Lionel Johnson being gay. Like just flat out talk about him being gay.
If nothing else, it explains how Belial acts in TTS, or Belial, whatever you want to pronounce him.
I
That's
call it.
real.
I said Belial, but
I said
That's real.
Belial.
They discovered our secret. What are we going to do now? Shut up, Belial.
yeah. Actually, I tell you what, pronunciations. I got shouted at so many times for how I pronounced Abaddon's name because I called him Ezekiel, and I was
Ezekiel.
like, why did I? But it's spelled Ezekyle. I got
Well,
shouted at him.
The thing is, Abaddon's name is spelled Abaddon.
Well, yeah, his
Yeah,
name is actually
It is.
He's
Abaddon.
He's Abaddon, and he's a bad guy. Do you get it? Huh?
It's all part of
But yeah,
Zeech's
anyway,
terrible
But anyway,
plan.
I was trying to work out why I called him Ezekyle, and then it hit me because I was going back through TTS and found the bit with Araman, who called him Ezekyle. It's like, that's the only time I've heard Abaddon's name read aloud. So that's what I went with. And I got shouted at so many times for calling him Ezekyle.
For regards to pronunciations, I get a shout out so often for the way I pronounce Tyrant, pronouncing the word Behemoth, or even pronouncing Rabute Gilliman. Because let's be honest, Rabute Gilliman's got about like 6 different pronunciations. It's like Rabute Gilliman, Robo Gulliman, Robert Gurleyman, Robo Gangrene,
As someone who studies a little bit of French, as assuming that's where I would take the bait, or Latin and Latin-based language, I would say Robert Guilliman is how I pronounce it, but I would be completely willing to be corrected.
How the hell do you pronounce Yumgarl Steelers? Is it Yumgarl or Yumgarl?
Imgarl.
No, because you're adding vowels.
Imgarl. Ymgarl. Imgarl.
Imgarl.
It's so dumb.
Who was the other one that I got?
Huron Blackheart's first name, Lufgt. How the fuck do you pronounce that?
You just sneeze.
Anybody speak German? Luft is how I'd pronounce it.
Well, I actually put it into a text-to-speech device online, and it just says it's Luft. Is that Luft? Oh, simple.
That would also work. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Who was it that I couldn't pronounce? Somebody's name I could not pronounce for shit. Actually, it was Kyogre. I couldn't pronounce Kyogre's name correctly for years. I kept calling it like Kygor and Kyro, going back to Pokemon.
Okay, so my one friend, he used to pronounce Charmeleon from Pokemon as Charmeleon.
How posh is it? It's Charmeleon.
That sounds like Spanish. Charmeleon.
It reminds me of that old British sitcom Keeping Up Appearances. The name's Bouquet. It's spelled bucket.
Bucket. No, it's the Bouquet residence lady at the house speaking. Oh my god, that was quite funny. Did that show ever make it stateside?
I don't believe so, but I don't watch TV.
Sheridan!
I don't watch TV at all.
It's my sister Violet, the one with the Mercedes and room for a pony. That was funny. That was quite funny. Sorry, getting distracted. Old British TV.
That just goes to the young ones though. That was classic British TV.
Yeah, back when
BBC didn't really give a shit and wasn't trying to cover up child pornography charges. But anyway, that's a different issue. Allegedly, so we don't get sued.
Yikes! Yeah. Right.
What was that tweet Jeremy Clarkson allegedly put out? If he instead of hitting a producer, if he just did something to a child, then the BBC would have covered it up for him.
I don't remember seeing that, but I could imagine he said it.
It could have been on a parody account. I don't know for certain. But anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Hang
on.
Hang on, what?
Oh, sorry. I said that out loud. That was supposed to stay in my brain.
Okay.
Your brain's very loud.
Question. We've had... I'm going to go back to Demon Magnus. Who's next?
Angron, I reckon.
I'm going to go with Mortarion.
I was going to go with Mortarion. Just because we've had Karn, we've had some Khorne stuff. We've also had Khorne Demonkin, for flip's sake. Give everybody else a chance.
Yes, but Games Workshop has a hard-on for Khorne at the moment, so it's probably going to be Angron. Because again, out of the Demon Primax, he's the one that generally gets a lot of shit done. It's definitely not going to be Lorgar, I don't think. Lorgar's going to be the least likely. Because Lorgar just sits seen as Churchmaster.
I think if the rumours are true and Dawn comes back, that throws Perturabo into the equation. And then things get interesting.
True.
Somebody just got really, really pissed at me for suggesting that the Tyranid Bio Titans should have D weapons.
Honestly, I'd be happy if we take strength D out of the game in its entirety rather than giving it to everybody, but you know.
Well, these are Titan. The model, the one that I talked about, is the Hero Fant and a Hero Din. They're 1,000. The Hero Fant is 1,000 points. He has 12 shots at Strength 10, AP 3, with a terrible ballistic skill, and he does basically nothing.
But could you imagine if that was Strength D? That's a theoretical.
Yes,
12
it
D6
kills
was
one
72.
thing. If they lowered it down to 4 shots at D, it would be equivalent to the Titans in the same price range as him.
Possibly. I mean, I'd be happier with Strength. I understand why Strength D has to exist to represent the ludicrous on toast powerful weapons, but at the same time, the fact that Strength D exists, particularly in fucking Eldar, like, what the fuck is it doing scattered across the Eldar Codex? What the flip is that all about?
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd happily take away. Obviously, you ranted about the Storm Surge last time, and how bullshit that is with its Strength D method. And I have looked at the Storm Surge again, and I've realized, okay, that is a little bit bullshit. But I'd be quite happy if Strength D just left the game entirely.
I'd be okay with that. But 4 shots, Strength D comes from, 4 shots, Strength D with a blast template comes from the Warhound Titan at 750 points. For 1,000 points, I get a Hierophant who goes, la-di-da, I took 2 D shots and get removed.
By the same token, though, if a Titan takes 2 D shots, it could get removed.
It reflects the first one with its shield and then survive the next one because it has a shitload of hull points.
How many is a shitload?
I think it has like... Actually, no, it only has 4, so it can't survive a full... No,
it can't...
It has like 6, I think.
Yeah, so there's a 16% chance of an insta-dead, and it's still dead to 2 once it gets through the Void Shield, which can easily be plinked off by everything else.
Yep.
So
but
it's...
Look at the stupid Eldar one with the 4D shots at the longest range ever.
The Revenant.
No.
Or the Phantom.
The Wraith Knight.
Oh, right, we're going that low down the scale.
That guy at 1/3 the points can take his 2D weapons and one-shot my Hierophant of 1,000 points. Either you need to lower the points drastically for the Hierophant, or give him a D weapon.
Yeah, something of that ilk.
And with the Tyranids, them firing heavily concentrated acid as a D shot makes a lot of sense.
Not quite as much as a literal like hole in reality type weapon as I assume some of the D-side stuff is, but yeah.
Or the shock attack gun.
Oh, don't start me on the fucking shock attack gun.
I love that weapon.
I have had some terrible experience with the shock attack gun. Like, I fired the thing about 3 times in my life. The first time I got teleported into combat with a dreadnought.
And
the second time I rolled only the model under the hole is hit and I scattered. And the third time I rolled something like kind of average. It's never done anything.
I rolled double 6s and hit a Swarm Lord.
Was this while it was insta-death or while it was vortex?
While it was remove.
Oh. Yeah, because it wasn't like suffers a wound with insta-death. It's like removed from play. You are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I went over the Tyranid Codex and I just gave my 2 cents on it. If I really wanted to, I have like a 10-page paper on the Tyranid Codex of all the shit that's wrong with it and how to properly balance it and all the mathematics to it. I just don't want to release it because people would argue with it.
Yeah. Actually, here's the question for you. Orcs are renowned for randomness. D6 this, 2D6 that, yada, yada, yada. Is more randomness good, or should we try and aim for as streamlined as we can get?
Some randomized weapons are good. The Luda gun is good the way it is. Shock attack gun is great the way it is.
But then you have like
the flash gets gun is okay.
But that's far less. But what I mean is like that across most armies, there is very few things in any other army that is something D6. The only one that comes to my mind is the Chaos Spawns attack stat.
In fairness, we're talking about randomness. That we are talking about the orcs here. Their technology is not known for being reliable, which is
That
the whole
is
point.
true. I think
No, but,
too
like,
much
if you-
randomness would make the orcs too convoluted and very difficult to play.
But
by the
orcs
same
meant to be the
token-
gambler's army, though.
But if you take the randomness, but the problem is if you take the randomness away, they're a bit shit.
Well, the orcs
There's a
are
lot-
terrible right now anyway. Like, they're literally one of the worst armies in the game, aside from Sisters.
No, but if you consider, like, let's say you give all the orc results their best result, the shock attack gun is broken, the blitzer bomber is broken, the looter is broken, the flash kit is
No,
broken.
the Luda is not broken because of the ballistic skill.
Okay, looter is not broken. Flash kits are borderline broken.
Yes, the AP1
Blitzer
strength 6 shots are a little bit over.
Blitzer bombers are pretty much broken because they're ordnance strength 7 AP2 bombs that also get a free round of shooting into the rear armor, no less.
The belly
Shock
gun
attack-
would be incredibly overpowered.
Yeah,
The
that's like-
Super Gatla would be ridiculous. Orcs
No,
have their...
no. Super Gatler would be useless because you'd roll a double on the second roll.
Oh, yeah. Well, I usually
the
use the Mega Gatler, is it?
The Giga Shooter, which is 66 shots.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not in the game anymore. That's only in Apocalypse. It's not actually in the Codex anymore. The Stomper in the Codex has to have a Super Gatler, I think, not a Giga Shooter.
Well, I never take that codex for Stompas. I always take a Buzzgops custom.
Yeah, fairs. Actually, I'm gonna go and look that up. You carry on.
But a bit more randomness in the Orc codex, I think, is a little bit too much. I think it's very balanced the way it is now. I do want Ramshack. I want all the vehicles in Orc army to have a 6-up invo save regardless because, hey, that las cannon shot that blew through my entire engine. Well, joke's on you. There's not even an engine in this.
Yeah.
A piece of paper saying vroom vroom.
Yeah,
I
because
do
that's what
want them-
Ramshackle basically represented, wasn't it? It was like you could hit some critical thing and disable it, or you could just basically hit something that the driver nailed on so we could keep an eye on it.
Oh my god. But no, I do think the Orcs vehicles should have a 6-up invo save. I think every Orc should have a 6-up feel no pain.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
they can shrug off anything. They can shrug off them chopping their own arm off and attaching a claw to it.
They can be decapitated, and if the head's sewn back on fast enough, they're still alive.
No, it's not even fast enough. It's within like the same day.
Yeah, I didn't know how fast it exactly was, but yeah.
It's still
true.
fast enough compared to other species.
Yeah, I mean, Gazkul got shot through the brain with a bolter and literally walked into Grotznik's tent, holding his cranium together with both his hands.
How did he get off that battlefield?
I thought Grossman just found him lying on the battlefield. I was like, oh,
It depends on which version you read. I think the version that I know best, Gazkul wandered into Grotznik's tent holding his brain together in two hands.
Yeah, that's yeah, because
That might
that's
be
that's in the same story as Mad Doc giving everybody the exploding Ed syndrome.
Yep.
So I do know both versions of it, and one version Mad Doc actually saved him on the battlefield.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But
I
then
prefer
again,
wandering
it's
into
orc
this brain.
lore, so you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. That's very true.
Speaking of orcs, one thing I do miss, I miss the muties from Gorka Morka.
I
The what?
Anyone remembers them?
I unfortunately
Muties.
never played Gorka Morka.
Oh.
I want to.
Wait.
Because when the expansion pack came out, obviously you had the two main orc gangs, the Gorkas and the Morkas. Basically, the Gorkas were all about strength.
Wait
and
a
the Morkas
minute.
were about
I
vehicles.
know this. Giganobs.
Digger knobs, not kicker knobs.
Whatever.
Oh, so basically the muties were digger knobs.
No, the digger knobs were digger knobs. The diggers were digger knobs.
Yeah, but Giganobs.
Because you had the Gorkas, the Morkas, the diggers, the rebel grots, and the muties. And the muties were literally the only faction in the game that didn't have vehicles because they rode giant lizards into battle. And they utilized Imperial technology. They had things like las guns and plasma guns and storm bolters. And it was awesome. These mutants just riding on these giant lizards with plasma guns and fighting.
I'll tell you what
against
needs to. I'll tell you what needs to happen. Guard, you know the Allies Matrix. I'm more talking to Alexis. You know that Allies Matrix, how it's
Yes.
like Imperium Chaos. They need to take Guard out of that and let them be allies with whoever the flip they want. You want Orcs psychically controlling Guardsmen? Go for it. You want Gavesa? Go for it. You want Gene Stealer cultists without actually running Gene Stealer cults because you're too poor to buy them? Go for it. You want proper Renegade Guard? Go for it. You want, I don't know, flipping Dark Eldar sex slaves? I don't know. Go for it. Why? Why is this not a thing anymore?
Actually, that would drastically increase the sale of the Guard.
Yeah.
Then why aren't they doing it?
Because reasons.
Wow,
Oh
Remleiz.
shit, reasons. Because in 6th edition, Guard were like allies of convenience with Chaos and Tau, and it made fucking sense. And now they're just armies of
They'll
the
sleep with
Imperium.
anyone.
Did anybody else notice that the ram on the Goliath rock lobster is completely...
Rock lobster.
It's the rock grinder. It's the rock lobster. Hashtag rock lobster. Anyway, its ram would not function in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, like,
I
most things in
haven't looked
40K.
hard enough.
No, like, it's just blatantly silly. Like, okay, so
Like
it
most
has...
things in 40K.
It has 2 blade things at the side and 1 in the middle.
Okay.
And, I mean, if it had 1 giant one along the middle, it would make more sense, and 1 giant one above the top, it'd make a lot of sense. The only thing I can think of it is, as it goes into the tunnels, it actually hits the sides of the tunnels to even them out.
Yeah, it's to make sure that... Because if you put the... doobly-doo, the
Rock
excavator... The thing across the front...
Drill.
The problem is, unless you built it in a very, very specific way, so that the like there was like a cord out section for the supports, you'd have the suspension supports holding the thing on outside the actual drill bit, which means that they would be constantly crashing into the walls and thus breaking.
Okay, so I just turned to a page real quick. Sorry, I gotta interrupt you for this because you want to hear this. The greater good corrupted.
Well, yeah, gene stealers can infect any species, potentially.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've seen artwork from that Gene Stealer Codex, Gene Stealer cult with a Tau, Gene Stealer cult fighting Chaos. Speaking of which, do you know in the really old like Road Trader era, you could actually have Gene Stealer Chaos cults, like a Gene Stealer Patriarch possessed by a greater demon called a Gene Stealer Oracle.
I'm okay with that.
That's quite cool.
And you could summon demons into your Gene Stealer cult army and use beastmen.
Oh, and
Just
because
cause.
you guys do lore videos, I actually want to see some lore on the 4-armed Emperor.
The who now?
The
Gene Stealer
4-armed...
Patriarch.
Yeah, the 4-armed Emperor.
Well, I've kind of got plans on where I'm going with lore. I mean, I've got so many people telling me do this, do that, do the other. So I've got Garrow coming out this week, and then I'm gonna stay Imperial for a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a couple of one-offs, kind of like I did with Bugs and Tau. So I'm gonna do Dark Eldar because, well, when Scardcast tells you to do something, you should probably do it. And I might go back and revisit my Necrons fluff and redo that. But we'll see how we go.
All right. I look forward to all of that because, yeah, I love you guys' videos.
I probably won't be doing any more Gene Stealer videos for a while because the entire videos I have done really have been about Gene Stealers constantly.
Well, to be fair, there's not much lore-wise or theory-wise you can say about the Tyranids.
The Tyranids came to a world and ate it.
The thing is, actually, this was a theory that I sort of very briefly postulated during my Tyranids lore video, that the reason the Hive Mind destroys the Swarm Lord every time is because if the Swarm Lord was able to, like, live out in the fleet, self-aware all the time, it could find a way to fuck over the Hive Fleet.
I would theorize it's just so they could essentially download its experiences. So when they make a new Swarm Lord, right, you've already got your experience, you've already essentially been trained, you know what to do, just do it.
I suppose.
No, I can go with both of these, okay? Hear me out on this. The
Cool.
Norn Queen is just a single Tyranid that's no bigger than a Hive Tyrant. Like,
I thought that they were, like, giving birth to everything and so had to be a
Nope.
lot... No, that's the shit. Never
they
mind.
ride
Move
the
on.
Dominatrix.
Hashtag Hive Ship Sex.
God damn it, Remleiz, you snuck it in there, you bastard. Anyway, no, but I could see the Swarmlord like returning to the Hive Fleet under command and having the slight free will of maybe he should actually be the one to control the entirety of the swarm because he knows tactics firsthand versus the Norn Queen who barely rides into combat, and when it does, it usually dies.
Yeah,
Granted,
That
it's riding a giant dinosaur into battle, which is the
it's
dominatrix.
kind of like the king and the queen in chess, but roles reversed.
that
Yes.
being said, the Norn Queen is psychically linked to every single Tyrant organism, so
Well, so is the
She-
Swarmlord.
yeah, yes, but conversely, she would have all of his experience. Therefore, she would be able to do what the Swarmlord could do.
Then
Essentially,
why
because she
destroy
has
the
the
swarm? Then why destroy the Swarmlord at all? If you're psychically linked to it, you see what it is, you see how it thinks, what it thinks, why it thinks. Why destroy it?
Well,
You destroy it and then
Do
remake
you?
it just in case you can come across a species later on that could actually add to improve the Swarmlord. It's because the Tyrants tailor themselves for upcoming battles. They breed specific organisms for upcoming battles, essentially. So they might send like some like probe creatures to spacey scout ahead, or get some
That's what the
psychic
two
messages
like cults
from
are for.
and the lictors, because they're the first line creatures as well. They scout out the planet, and basically the Hive fleet. Right, we need creatures X, Y, and Z. We're not going to need creature B, A, and D. So we're just going to make these ones and make a Swarmlord, basically with these traits that we need to survive on this planet.
Well, they don't make. I think they don't make a Swarmlord very often. The Swarmlord is like the stress-induced response. It's the last resort. Like, we are going to lose if we don't introduce some lateral thinking, or we aren't going to win in a hurry if we don't introduce some lateral thinking. So why not just have a Swarmlord that's on standby?
here's the
And
thing.
like,
I think they do keep it on standby. And hear me out on this. The
Go on.
Tyranid Hive fleets actually do keep active Tyranids on it. That's where the Trevagon comes in. And that's why he
Yeah.
keeps his brood with him. And yes, I am using he because in German it's broodfather and he's a seahorse essentially. He just carries his babies in him. They do keep active Tyranids on the ships, and they do keep some in incubation and hibernation.
That's
The
true,
Gene
yeah.
Stealers are one of them that they fire out in pods way out into the galaxy if they get the slightest hint of a psychic presence. So
yes.
they could actually keep the Swarmlord in the Hive ship and just keep him in stasis essentially until they release him, and they're like, oh god, I really hope he doesn't die, because if he dies maybe we can't get him back. Or maybe it's a lot of processing for the Tyranids to reproduce another one similar to that of the Norn Queen. When a Norn Queen was killed by the Death Company, not the Death Company,
Death
what
Watch.
are they? Death Watch.
Death Watch.
The Hive Fleet actually stopped what it was doing and just went straight into the reproduction of the Norn Queen, and then fired out a whole bunch of them to different parts of the galaxy, thus spreading the Tyranid's influence, but it was a survival instinct. So the Tyranid Swarmlord could be the same exact style, where it is stress-induced, where it's like, okay, we need to put this guy out there to win this battle, but let's think about this, let's make sure we have all of his materials to make another one, because we can't really just throw these things out. Otherwise, a Hive fleet would just come to a planet and only use Hive Tyrants like every Tyranid player.
Yeah, because one thing that always makes me wonder is like, if the Swarmlord is able to crack basically anything and is the best lateral thinker in the Hive fleets, yada yada yada, why oh why does it not just, even if it doesn't fight, just be there to observe? If it's in stasis, it can't do that. If it's been destroyed and is remade on a stress induce, it can't do that.
Now,
Why is the Swarmlord not always there? Even if it's
It might be something as simple as that. If it's not always there, because it may not simply have the lifespan. Because don't forget, there are some tyrant organisms that literally will not survive beyond a single battle. One major one being the Demacaron, which doesn't even have a digestive system. It's literally got enough fuel to power it for one battle, and then it drops dead at the end of it.
there's also, the Spore Mines that die, the Rippers that die.
Yeah, the Rippers throw themselves, and actually every Tyranid throws themselves into the capillary towers at the end of the fight, which is what makes me wonder why the Swarm Lord, how
Now-
the Swarm Lord could live.
Hear me out on this. If both of these two Tyranid organisms share a psychic link between each other, like it is the strongest with the Swarm Lord. The psychic link to the Norn Queen with the Swarm Lord is the strongest. They could be something of both absolutely necessary. Maybe the Swarm Lord knows all the fighting while the Norn Queen knows all of the survival techniques. So they can't exist without each other.
Perhaps it just always made me wonder, like, why. I mean, I sort of understand why assimilate the Swarm Lord so it can be buffed up for next time, but why is it not always down on planet? Observe,
Now-
even if it's like right in the back lines, just
I
watching.
have an answer to that too. Maybe
Okay.
because it's so treasured, the Norn Queen just puts a direct link to it and does a direct link to all of its synapse creatures and just feeds it all of the information on the battle until it's needed. Because otherwise the Swarm Lord would have come out onto the battlefield and been like, what the fuck is a Space Marine? We've never seen these things before.
True.
It could also be just a matter of efficiency, because if a Tyrannofleet can basically devour an entire planet using nothing but Ripper swarms, it'll probably just send nothing but Ripper swarms. Why go and send your biggest, most dangerous creature when you're not going to need it?
That's true.
Possibly. It was just something that crossed my mind. I wasn't sure. I thought I'd ask because I've got the Resident Genius and I've got a Tyranid player, so I thought I may as well ask.
Yay! I'm a Tyranid player.
And also very, very knowledgeable about lore and Tyranids and stuff.
When it comes to Tyranids, I know their lore very well, and I know what makes them work. When it comes to any other race, my battle tactic is look at the opponent, look at his army, point at my opponent, and go directly towards him.
You sound like you're quoting an Old Spice commercial.
Look at me. Now back to your opponent. Now look at me. Look how cute I am. Don't you wish that you were me?
Oh dear. To be fair, I wish I could spend. I love doing the reading for lore videos, but oh dear God, does it take ages to put it into a script. But I kind of miss my old lore days where I used to literally just read from the codex. Because that's what I did for my Farsight lore. I literally just read the Farsight Enclaves codex. And it's like they're like ridiculously popular, but like now I go to all this trouble to write a full-on independent script using like 5 or 6 different reference pieces, and it's like, is that really worth all of my? Actually, yes, because I would have had to spend 20 quid on a codex otherwise, and like another 50 quid on all the Horus Heresy
you're
books.
not, taking the cliff notes off of bigger YouTubers and making a channel about it. There's a joke in there. I think Remleiz understands it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think the 3 of us know who that refers to.
Anyway.
Sigh.
No,
Yes.
I love the Tyranids. And
Speaking about bigger YouTubers and stuff, if the people haven't seen it, I would suggest, Alexis, you put a link in the description to Admiral Biscuit.
Admiral Biscuit.
Yes, Admiral Biscuit.
I'll have to check him out. I've been on like this
No.
tirade of finding...
Total Biscuit. Total Biscuit's co-optional podcast animated.
About Battlefleet Gothic. And the happiest Imperial Guard captain ever. Or Imperial Navy captain ever.
Did you not watch that?
No.
It is the best thing. It's in the
Send
chat.
me a link.
It's in the chat.
Oh, send it again. But it is 40k in a nutshell, and TB is like, he's such a 40k. Like it reminds me of Remleiz in a way, just like, except if Remleiz lost touch. So like he's like massively into it, but he doesn't like play anymore and stuff. It's like I just
So
wish.
Remleiz?
Oh,
Hey.
no, I'm not meaning TB, but Total Biscuit one like the best guess we would ever. It would never, ever, 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 ever happen, but it would be amazing to have someone like that on the podcast.
Oh, definitely.
Just to shoot the breeze with. But that does not mean.
You know who I want on our podcast? Striking Scorpion.
Luke?
Yeah.
Luke. He's a big Tactica guy. He doesn't do much. He isn't a lore guy. He's a tactics guy. He's the guy. I think he did a battle report with Dave from Mini Wargaming, or he hosted Mini Wargaming Dave when he came over to the UK.
Yeah, he did.
They went down that way. I don't really follow Luke all that much, because he does like big, huge Tactica and review videos. It's like I could sit through and watch this, but I really have to do homework at this point.
I watch his battle reports just before I go to bed, and I hate it because he does them in just a way that I want to stay up and watch all of it. Like,
I tell you what, I've really gone off battle reports. Like, I don't watch battle reports at all.
well, I do
don't.
more tactics and everything, so I need to know my opponents, and I just like watching them.
True.
But like with mini wargamings, because they don't go through their armies and why they do it in the same video of doing their battle reports, their battle reports tend to suck.
Mini wargaming. I got into mini wargaming when they did their first narrative campaign, Fate of Fayoum, and I love the narrative campaigns. I really wish I could keep up with them, but I don't. And the one I really like the most is the Misfits, the Renegades.
Yes.
Oh, with Defi and Carl and Shast and everything. But I don't know. I just find battle reports not that interesting anymore.
Oh, I love them.
I don't know. Maybe I've just gone off gaming in general, and I need to get a bloody game with my 8, and I don't have to go to fucking training sessions anymore. Bloody mental workshop meant I couldn't go and play last night. I was super pissed off.
No, but with certain people's battle reports, I kind of just watch it a little bit and then skip to the ending to see who won and see if my predictions are correct. With Striking Scorpion, he keeps it so interesting that I actually watch the whole thing. Granted, I wish his cuts were a little bit shorter. That's about the only thing that I would say to him.
To be fair, though, Alexis, if we did a podcast and Striking Scorpion came on it, it would just be me and Remleiz sitting here with a cup of not tea because we don't drink it, while you two just shoot the breeze about tactics that are far beyond our puny comprehension.
Okay, so I'll ask him when I get a little bit bigger if he wants to be on an episode of Rants and Rambles. That way, it's just me and him.
Just for the sake of me and Remleiz actually getting a worded edgeways on the podcast, yes. That might be for the best.
Yes.
To be fair, if we invited actually no, you're enough up on the lore to be able to contribute, but tactically, I'm useless and Remleiz doesn't play, so it's like, yeah, we're just gonna sit here.
Wait, Remleiz, do you watch battle reports?
I don't actually know. However, speaking of battle reports, I remember the day when army books and codexes had battle reports in the codex and army books.
Oh my god.
I remember the days when White Dwarf had fucking battle reports in them. That was great.
Oh, they still do. Brilliant. They still do. They're just terrible and one-sided.
Well, I remember.
Even the monthly one.
Yeah, the newest one. I got it here. It has a battle report in it between the Cult and the Death Watch.
Oh, bad day for Death Watch.
I remember this. There was an issue of White Dwarf when they first released the brand new, at the time, Attack Bike and Eldar Viper, and they literally had like a skirmish battle report. It was like a Space Marine veteran sergeant, a tactical squad, and a bike squad with an attack bike against an Eldar swooping hawk Exarch, a squad of swooping hawks, jet bikes, and a Viper. That was literally the entire forces.
Jeez.
And it was written. It was really well written, and it was done like a full-on. Literally, just had to. Yeah, it was literally a story.
See, cool. That's the best kind of stuff. I've been wanting to get people to do big giant campaigns and everything, but the problem I run into is the travel distance for me is an hour.
Logistics is a nightmare.
And people they're all interested for the first 2 games, and then once you get to game 3, they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever. I don't feel like playing this army." And it's like, oh. Well,
yeah, I get it. I tell you, going back to White Dwarf battle reports, my favorite has to be January. That was in 5th edition. It was when Snickrot and Zagstruck and Badruck and the new knobs came out, and the Battle Wagon, and they did 4 linked battle reports based on the Mighty Mangler of Bork. And in the final game, they had a gun that was so fucking huge. It was about 12 to 15 foot long, and that was the bloody gun carriage. And the gun was a fully rotatable, about 10-inch long cannon, and one of the guys was literally just rotating it and pointing at one of the Space Marine players' heads for the entire game. And it was one of the in the first game it was Dark Angels v basically Gazkul, and it was a double anything but a one moment where Gazkul failed his armor save against the Lightning Clawed Terminator and died. And then the last minute they decided we'll let your Batwagon make a dangerous terrain test or you lose, and he rolled a 1 and it died. And mission three was one of the coolest. It was like it wasn't a standard battle report. It was whoever has the highest positioned model wins.
What?
And
King of the Mountain.
Yeah, kind of like King of the Hill. And it ended up with the last 2 turns being a race for this squad of assault marines to chase after Boss Snickrock, who'd infiltrated the top of this crane and butchered some scouts on the way up. And it was like I look back at those battle reports and I'm just like, yes. This is how you do battle reports, Games Workshop.
Yeah, not just, hey, look how cool our new model is. Blah, 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 blah. It's totally awesome and balanced. Oh, it isn't.
I remind you of something like Games Workshop did, and what White Dwarf did years ago. And they did a series called A Tale of Four Gamers.
Yes!
And like literally every month, each gamer had a budget of like £50, and they had like 6 months to build up an army.
Yes.
And at the end of 6 months, they had like this massive battle where everyone having their armies fight against each other.
Yeah, they did it again in 5th edition. They did it with Eldar, Orcs, Marines, and Chaos. And that was why I got into Red Corsairs. I was going to go Huron Blackheart for a while. But then the guy also did Wazdako. The Eldar guy did a Phoenix Court. The Space Marine guy had Pedro Cantor and like a massive like Vindicator Linebreaker Squadron. And it was like one of the best series. It was like one of those series that you're like, I wish we could do that as our hobby group, but we just don't have the money and time to do it.
The one I remember, it was White Scars, Black Templars, World Eaters, and Eldar. And it was awesome because they had this massive 4-way battle report in the end, and basically they were trying to take control of this pyramid at the center of the board.
That's cool.
I remember me and my gaming
back on
club.
Back on White Scars could have dreadnoughts as well.
Jeez. I remember back a few months ago, me and my my crew decided to do an apocalypse game.
Yep.
Imperium plus allies versus Chaos and like Necrons. Because we didn't know where to throw the Necrons, so we threw them on the bad guy team.
I was expecting it to just be Imperium stick. It's usually Imperium
because
stick.
It's weird. We had Eldar on our team, and yeah, it was basically me and this guy named Creepy John. Well, we call him something else, but I can't put it on the podcast. Anyway. So the enemy spent there was 5 to 7 people playing on the enemy team, and they spent so much time putting up all of their models on the table. And then our side put up I put up my Warhound Titan and my One Knight Titan that I had at the time. And the guys were like, okay, that's not too bad. Then I put up my Baneblade, and they were like, okay.
This is now getting bad.
And then our teammate put up 5 Knight Titans.
Ugh.
And he's like, okay. And then John comes along, puts down 2 fucking D-Titans, the mini ones, a Revenant Titan, and then the biggest one.
The Phantom.
Yep.
Ugh.
The enemy team goes like this, we fucking lost. We're done. No. And I was like, wait. I'll give you control of my Titans. So we played 1 turn, and then they were just like, no, we fucking scoop. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't think this would happen.
I tell you what, the first game I ever got to use my Stomper, and it basically got permalocked by a bloody Marauder bomber that just flew behind it and shot it all day. I was like, I couldn't move at all. I was like, I want to hit this fucking Marauder bomber, but I can't turn around, and my guns don't have a fucking 180-degree pivot arc.
Oh,
this is before flyers were in the game as well. This was like when it's like 5th edition, so flyers didn't exist. It was like, I can't hit this goddamn bomber. Which was made out of wood, by the way. Someone had made it in woodwork
Oh wow.
as well.
I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm gonna have to shoot shortly. I'm afraid.
It is coming on 8:30, and I still haven't eaten since like 1 o'clock, so I should probably scoot at some point, but I got lost.
I got a
That's
roast
quite
beef
alright.
sandwich in front of me.
Bitch.
God, who put
Hey,
salted
hey,
Remleiz drink
hey.
this morning?
Do not throw factual statements at me as if they're insults.
Oh, that was a good way of dodging the question. So, yes, that's that. Suppose I'll let you do the outro.
Huh? I kind of forgot how to do an outro, so your turn.
Fine. So, yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 3 of Adeptus Podcastus. Make sure that if you are here, you have subscribed to Alexis' channel, because if you haven't, you don't have a brain cell.
Oh my god.
Next time, well, you don't, because it's a worthwhile channel to subscribe to. Anyway, so next time, we are going to be obviously back on Remleiz's channel over on 40K Theories. If there is a guest, I don't know about it. That will be up to Remleiz. I'm hoping to have a guest on next time I host. So in about 4 weeks' time, you will have definitely a guest. I've already sort of started booking one, so you can look forward to that if that interests you. Other than that, I don't think there's much more to say other than sorry for some of the absolutely atrocious language in the middle of that.
Remleiz.
Completely
Don't blame
Remleiz.
me. Don't put it all on me.
Don't blame the
I'm
guy
sorry,
covered
you
in
dropped the
salt.
C word. You dropped the C word, for goodness sake, man. Oh, dear.
Anyway,
yes. So, yes. Thank you very, very much for watching and listening and surviving that, if you have. I don't know how. So, yes, thank you very much. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis.
wait. Before you do that, if you guys have a question below, like if you want to ask us a question, make sure you put the word question and then ask the question. This way we know to filter through the comments and actually find them. It'll make it very easy for us.
Yes, Alexis will be question master next time.
Nope, I'm just going to hand it to you. You read better than me.
How? I can't read you. I can't filter your... I can only filter because it's my comment section.
Details.
Semantics. We'll work something out. One of us will be doing the questions.
Indeed.
Anyway, I'm Alexis the Ego Queen. I love you guys.
This is Remleiz from 40K Theories.
This is Michael from Tactica Imperialis. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.